Hey, what's up? I'm here with Mark from Blink-182. What's up, Mark?
What is up? It's a gorgeous day here in Toronto, standing right next to Lake Ontario, and in this beautiful building.
Yeah.
We're actually on like the 6th floor, and there's a nice garden out here. It's really cool.
Yeah, well, we figured we'd go outside, you know what I mean? Try to get some color while we're, because we don't get sun up in Canada too often.
Yeah, we're working our bronze.
Yeah, totally. How you digging Canada, man? I mean, you were in Montreal, I guess, last night or the night before, right?
Last night, yeah, it was awesome. Last night's show in Montreal was really cool. Really looking forward to tonight. Yeah, we love playing in Canada. Always a good time. Nice people.
Yeah.
What more could you ask for?
I love Montreal. It's a great city. And it's great for punk rock. I mean, they sort of take it to another level there, you know?
Totally. Montreal is one of the first cities outside of Southern California that embraced Blink.
Really?
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, I can see that.
It was back on the Warp Tour, one of the first Warp Tour that we did, I think, back in '90. I forget what it was, 5 or 6, and we played in Montreal, and all these people were standing in front of our stage, and we're like, "Do they think Pennywise is going to play right now?" and we started playing, and the place went nuts, and it was just awesome, really cool.
That was actually a crazy Warp Tour, man. That was I remember seeing that here at the Docks, which is just over there. But I remember Eminem was on that tour.
Uh-huh.
It was the first time I saw the Dropkick Murphys. And I mean, it's been a while. So, where's Blink at these days? I mean, it's a pretty simple question, but
What do you mean where we're at?
where are you guys at?
We're just making this new record, having fun, enjoying doing what we do. I mean, it's really cool. We come back to Toronto, and the venue tonight's sold out. It's rad. It's really fun. It's a really good time in our band.
Yeah, well, I mean, talk about being with the guys again, you know what I mean? And, working on this new record and having Tom and Travis, everybody together again.
It's really good. I think that during the breakup, all of us kind of lost a lot of our identity, because a lot of what we are is defined by Blink-182. Obviously, it's something that we've worked on for most of my life now. And getting back together, I think we not only we found a purpose in ourselves, but also learned what each different person in our band brings to the table. And the interesting thing is the things that not bug you about somebody, but your differences within each of us in the band is really what makes our band work in the best possible way. Like there's a rub, there's a friction, there's a tension between the three of us in some way that when we all work with that, then we tend to make our best music at that point.
Well, I mean, that kind of makes sense. I mean, it's like a yin and a yang type thing, I guess. Maybe not that extreme, but opposites attract, right?
Yeah, it's cool because I'll bring a song to the table, and I write really straightforward, poppy things, and Tom will take it and he'll add some weird element to it, or he'll space it out somehow or make it different, and then Travis comes in with just a drum beat that nobody would ever think of to play over this music, and it makes it 10 times better. And in that combination, it's just something works.
When Travis first entered the band, were you guys like, what the fuck? This is crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I felt like, Blink really became Blink when Travis joined the band. I felt like that was a real defining moment for our band, was when Travis joined, because he has such an aesthetic sound that's unique unto himself that makes Blink signature some way.
Yeah. Did you have to play faster even though you guys already played fast?
Yeah, we did. Yeah, Travis can play really fast.
Yeah. It's got to be fun playing in a band with him because he's so fast. I mean, it's just really fun to watch that dude play drums. New record, Up All Night, for a song that I guess everybody sort of got to hear.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the questions I guess that came to mind when I heard the song was how important was the last record, to this record? Because that record, you guys changed it up and you put out a solid record.
Yeah.
And I sort of feel like that song, you can hear a little bit of that experimentation there,
Yeah, for sure. I think on the last Blink record, we were back to being comfortable. We recorded all of our other albums just because we were having fun and we loved doing it. And then during Take Off Your Pants and Jacket, I think that we kind of were second guessing ourselves because we'd blown up so big on Enema of the State. So in Take Off Your Pants and Jacket, I feel like we wanted to do stuff, but then we were like, well, what do people think Blink is? And on the last Blink record, we're just like, you know what? We can't second guess what people are going to like or what people expect of us. We just have to write an album that we love that means something to us. And that's how we approached this record as well. We reformed the band, and we'd started writing songs, but we were still too polite at that point. We were still too mindful of one another's feelings. We were desperately trying to protect this little spark of our band reforming. And so it wasn't the best way to write new music because we needed to embrace, like I said, that tension in the band. And so we went out on tour and toured North America. We went over to Europe, and then really the record came together probably in the past like 6 months.
That, like the whole thing in 6 months?
Well, I mean, it was ideas that we've been working on for 2 years. Up All Night was the first song, one of the first songs that we even started writing when we'd gotten back together. And that song, I think, kind of encapsulates everything that this record is. It sounds like Blink. It sounds like a step forward. It has parts that sound like old school Blink, and that's kind of how the record is. There's stuff that sounds like, you know, it could be on Dude Ranch, and there's stuff that sounds like the last album, and then there's things that sound like nothing we've ever done before.
Well, I mean, Heart's All Gone would be total. I mean, that a lot of people were stoked on that track too, right?
Yeah, totally. It's interesting because after having no new music out for 8 years, I thought that there was no way that we're going to be able to release a song. No matter, you know, it's just like expectations of our band at this point after, you know, breaking up and reforming and taking 2 years to record this album, like no matter what we put out, people are just going to hate it. You know, seriously, because it had just been so long. And we put out Up All Night. We love the song, but I didn't know what people were going to think of it, and it's been great. People have loved it, and it's done great on the radio. And
well, I mean, how do you guys deal with the haters? You know what I mean? Especially being in a pop punk band, because, you know, in the punk world, you're going to get that sometimes where people are going to hate. And yeah, I mean, you've been doing it for so long that I wonder, you know, do you read your own press? Does it still bother you, you know? Because I freak out when somebody comments on an interview and is like, that guy's a douche, you know?
I do read the reviews. I don't know. We were always hated on so much every step of the way from the beginning, and everyone always wrote us off as like this joke band. Oh, you're the guys that run naked. Oh, Blink-182. You write like all the small things. That I don't know. Now somehow it's turned around, and because we've been at it for so long, people are like, oh, well, like all the kids that were the Blink fans back in the day are now kind of running shit. So, so now it's like somehow it became cool to like Blink, I think, and that's a really cool feeling. I don't know. Somehow I think just because we stuck around for so long, people took pity on us and are like, okay, cool.
Well, I think it's cool that a lot of those fans stuck around. You know what I mean?
For sure.
That, like they got older, but still, you know.
That's what's so rad about this tour is that, you know, we go out and we're playing shows, and there's people that have been following Blink since day one who are now parents that are bringing their kids to their first show, and there are people that had never listened to Blink before we broke up and are coming to see Blink for their first time, and it's like 2 generations and 3 generations of people. It's really cool. It's fun.
Is it easy for you to connect with the older stuff, you know, when you're playing it live?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, it is. I mean, you know, play a song like Josie that is probably 15 years old at this point, but it's a fun song to play, and I remember every time I play it, it takes me back to, you know, I think that all music is like that. When you hear a song, like this song is playing in the background, reminds me of a summer in junior high. This song right here, Drive, reminds me of an exact moment in junior high at a dance where I just felt super awkward. But I think all music does that for everybody. Like, music defines what you are and who you are at that moment when you listen to it. And so I'll play a song like Josie, and it'll bring me back to 15 years ago.
Hey, man, time and a place for me, dude. Definitely awkward prom stories. Too much information for you.
No, yeah. This song actually makes me angry because of the girl that wouldn't dance with me in junior high. So I harbor a lot of anger, and listening to this right now I'm gonna need some therapy now.
I gotta ask you. You know, you do Hoppus on Music. Change the name of the show. And it's a great show. And, you know, I know you did the radio show or the podcast as well.
Right.
And, you know, what's it like being on the other side of the mic? You know what I mean? Are you sort of a little bit more aware when you do an interview now? Like, do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I definitely have a lot more respect for people that do interviews. And I love doing the TV show. It's so fun. And everybody that works on the show is really passionate about music.
Great show, man.
It's fun to do. And we get great guests and great performances, and yeah, I love talking with people about music, and I love talking with other artists about how they create their art, and I like exposing people to new music, so it's kind of everything that I love about music.
Did it take you a while to, you know, to sort of get into that, to get comfortable doing that stuff? I mean, you guys are pretty much stand-up comics on stage anyways, I guess, so.
Yeah, it took me a really long time to get comfortable reading a teleprompter.
Yeah, it looks like it's really hard.
It is. It sucks because you don't want to sound like you're reading something, and so I actually work really hard at prepping for the shows, and if there's a band that we have on that I don't know a whole lot about, I try and research them as much as possible, and I don't want to be one of those interviewers that that I get when people ask me questions that you can tell just have a list of questions and have no idea anything behind it beyond that, you know?
Well, I loved the fact that when you did the BDI interview, you started asking them about like McDonald's and like random shit. You know what I mean?
Well,
and though that to do that to that type of band, you know what I mean? Like,
well, that was
I
actually
was waiting for like Liam or Noel or whoever to just walk out. You know?
That was the thing. Was like everybody, you know, oh, okay, the guy, like everyone's all worried, and I was like, look, you know, ask him about McDonald's or whatever it was, because those interviews are fun. Like this kind of interview is fun. It's not just like, so what does the name Neighborhoods mean?
Right.
So why is your band Blink-182? Yeah. I mean, which are all valid and cool questions, but the fun interviews for me are things that revolve around music but aren't the same rote questions that everyone asks.
So what are you listening to these days then?
I love the Joy Formidable. I think that band is amazing. I love Yuck. I think is really cool. Yeah. Matt and Kim, I'm still rocking. Last Kanye record, I still think is genius.
Yeah, it was. I wanted to hate that album too, but it was good.
Yeah, I think that he's just one of those artists that every time is so different and fearless and cocky and weird and awesome. Yeah. I think that. Yeah, he's really good. Have
you crossed paths with Kanye West?
I have not. I've never met him, no. Yeah. But I did meet Jay-Z.
Oh, yeah?
Which is really cool. And it was a long time ago, and I had just started dating the lady who's now my wife. And we were at this charity event that Universal Music had put on, and we're all sitting at these tables. It's on a back lot at Universal. And somebody comes up, and they're like, yeah, Jay-Z wants to meet you. And I was like, all right, cool, all right. So I'm like, turn to my girlfriend. I'm like, hey, you want to go meet Jay-Z? And she's like, okay, sure. And so I go over and get introduced to him. He's like, yeah, man, I love your music. And oh, fuck, that's awesome, man. Thank you so much. And I'm like, I wanted to introduce you to my girlfriend. He looks up, he's like, oh my God, Sky, what's going on? And because she'd worked at MTV, he totally already knew her. And was like best friends, like jumped up out of his chair and gave her a big hug, and like they were talking about old times and stuff, and I just felt like the biggest asshole. Like, well, I guess I'm not really that cool.
And then they did a secret handshake.
Yeah, totally.
I guess one question I really wanted to ask you was, talk about, when pop punk broke, and when NoFX was getting big, and Fat Wreck was getting huge, and there were you guys and Offspring, and that Rancid, that whole time,
Right.
Looking back on that, did you know something crazy was happening?
I don't know. Yeah, definitely something crazy was happening. This music that we'd all grown up being mocked for listening to and ostracized, and yeah, all of a sudden everybody was listening to the same music that I was, and it was cool. It was cool to come up in that. It was interesting because back then there was such like, indie versus mainstream versus whatever. Oh, you signed to a label. Oh, you're a sellout. Oh, like you are going to be on a TV show. Like there was all this politics involved in music, and it was just strange. It's like, to us, it's always been, if you make music that you love, then that's good. If you're making music because you want to sell music and you think you have to do something, then you're a sellout. But we always just did our own thing, and it was a great time, so much fun for us, and really fortunate for us that, at the same time that we were kind of coming up, all of that punk rock world was coming up. So it was very, very good time.
Good times. Last question, most cartoony / Metalocalypse type moment for your band. So like, was there ever a moment where you guys, played on top of Mount Everest, or, within a volcano, or?
There was a time once when we left a sold out show of 15,000 people. Well, no, it was in a field, so maybe it was like 18,000 people. We each got into our individual buses, had a police escort out of the venue, down the highway with a police escort going the wrong side of the highway to an airfield where we were getting on our private jet. So it was literally 3 buses parked in front of a giant private jet, and we just thought we were just fucking ballers at that point. And now looking back on it, I'm like, man, that was really expensive.
That was your Iron Maiden moment.
Yeah, it was really cool. Nice. But yeah, that's the closest that we've ever come to just. I'll tell you another one too. Yeah. The place that we play in New York is about a 2-hour drive from the city. It's a pain in the ass to get there. It's Jones Beach. It's way far away. It's outside the city. Okay. And so one time we're like, you know what? Fuck it. Let's spend the money. Let's rent a helicopter.
Nice.
Like, you know, just one time. You know, it's whatever, a ridiculous amount of money, but okay, we're gonna do it because it always takes 2 hours to get out there. We're like, we don't want to like sit in a car for that long.
Let's Bono this shit.
So yeah, so we rented a helicopter and we went to the helipad and we sat there and we're supposed to take off at like whatever it was 5, and it got to be like 5:15 and 5:20 and they were like, well, what's going on? It got to be 5:30 and the helicopter finally lands. We're like, okay, cool. We all get in the helicopter, take off, fly over Central Park, over all the buildings. It's gorgeous. We get out to somewhere over New Jersey. And the clouds come in, and the pilot's like, sorry, you guys, I got to land. I can't see where we're going. So we land at some municipal airfield out in the middle of New Jersey. And they're like, okay, well, we have to call a car to come get you guys. So we had to wait literally standing, because it's just a municipal airfield. There's not like a terminal or anything. We're just standing, just like right here, for an hour waiting for this car to show up. The car shows up and starts driving out there, and the driver has no idea where he's going. He gets lost 3 times while he's out there. By the time that we actually get to the venue, it was like 9 o'clock at night. So we'd blown like, you know, whatever it was, 15 grand just to take twice as long to get there as if we'd have just gone in a car.
Yeah, to go to Jersey.
Yeah, to go to Jersey. So,
awesome.
So you know, it's all just wasted money. I'm sorry.
Awesome, Mark. Thanks.
Cool. Thank you very much.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Cheers.
Explore Music wears English Laundry apparel.